hot sparks flying right onto paper next to all the wood framing. So it's a terrible, terrible equation for safety. And so that's something that we see all the time.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Pro Show. I'm your host, Erika, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by Scott Vogeli, the visionary behind Modern Edison Electric, who's on a mission to eliminate preventable electrical fires and keep homes safe. Scott, it's awesome to have you here.
Yeah, it's awesome to be here. Thanks for having me.
So Scott, for those who might not know you yet, give us the rundown. How did you get started in electrical safety and what sparked your passion for it?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I guess I started my career back at Michigan State University. I did electrical tech program. It was kind of an experiment of types. I wanted to kind of see what career I want to go into. Just really fell in love with the labs that we were doing, and the whole electrical trade just really kind of sparked an interest. So that led into my internship for 4 years and being a journeyman for 4 years and eventually getting my contractor's license. I opened my own residential specialized electrical contracting company in 2015, and I operated as an independent contractor for a lot of years. So I just really liked the whole, come into somebody's home, and it was much more of like a hospitality type of feel. I was, in and out of their personal space, and just really enjoyed like working on homes and improving people's lives in their homes, and did that for a number of years, and just did, like a wide variety of home upgrades, whether it be helping with a pool install or helping, fix and flip investors come in and make things right for the sale, just kind of anything and everything electrical. What really kind of started this mission of fire safety is I've got kind of a background in family history of firefighters. My grandfather was a firefighter in San Antonio, Texas for a lot of years. My little brother is a firefighter in Palo Alto here in California. And so I was just very aware of that firefighter life and like what they do. But it was a certain point when I was coming into people's homes, and I started to see knob and tube wiring and melted plugs behind dressers, and certain things that were really scary. And I was glad that I could be there to actually catch something before an actual fire happened, or even see things smoking and almost starting fires and getting like an emergency call. So I started to kind of click the two together in my mind as I was coming into older homes, and especially in Sacramento with a big population boom in 1900s, 1920s. There's a lot of Victorian homes that are all very beautiful and ornate and unique, but we've run into a lot of issues with the electrical systems, and a lot of them have, burned to the ground since. So just has really kind of been something near and dear to my heart as far as preventing the electrical fires. I see it as a big responsibility for electricians in general to have that at least part of their business to be preventing fires. But, just having my brother running into burning buildings and, talking to him about his stories and hearing, honestly, just horror stories from my grandfather of, things that really kind of are pulling on heartstrings as far as like kid safety and everything. I just kind of decided that it was something that the community at large, really, in Sacramento and even nationwide, just really could use a deeper awareness of like what a maintenance schedule looks like in an older home.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
What's the maintenance and upgrades that need to happen, every decade, every so often, like changing tires on your car or changing the brakes. There's just certain things that wear out over time. And if you schedule and keep ahead of them, you have a long lasting, safe and reliable home. And so, like you said in the intro, our mission is to prevent the 200 electrical fires that happen every year in Sacramento. Most of the time when we talk to the fire department about these house fires, the homeowner is, everything's been working fine, didn't really understand, what happened. And so I want to get on every local podcast I can and get with every real estate agent I can and plug in wherever we can just to increase awareness and really get behind the mission of solving the problem of just the neglect over time that happens, because it's just not a regular thing that people move in and say, hey, I'm gonna make sure my electrical system is really top notch. So I think that's just a big need that the community would really benefit from. So that's why we've kind of gone deeper into that and trying to fix that issue.
Yeah, that's a great mission, Scott. In your experience, what would you say is the biggest misconception that people have about electrical safety?
Yeah, I think the thing that I just hear all the time, and it makes sense too, everything's been working fine. Why do I need to work on my electrical system? The panel's been there for 70 years. Like there's nothing wrong with it. Why would I need to replace it? And so that's kind of the biggest thing that we have to overcome. And really the simplest way to do it is just to educate a homeowner on the technology that was available at that time. If it's a 1950s panel or before, things have come a long way in reliability. Things have come a long way in the ability to shut the power off if there is an issue. And so if we're having that conversation, it really just comes down to there's certain things that happen over time that contribute to the panel being unreliable and not being able to protect the home from an electrical fire. And so if you see it as like a weak link in a chain where the panel is really there to keep the whole house safe, that's like your main hub of safety. And so if it's unreliable, if it's, especially if you're using like fuses from, 100 years ago, they're just not going to do the same job at protecting the family as today's technology is able to. And so it's obviously up to every homeowner. Everybody has a different risk tolerance, but if we can get in there and provide those deeper insights about what you can do and about like what happens over time, then I think that is at least an opportunity for us to share that education so everybody can make an educated decision.
Yeah, absolutely. Scott, with the homes that you see in the historical homes, what are
Yeah.
some of the common issues that you see and how do you deal with those?
Yeah. So a really common issue is the fact that you have plugs and switches in the home that get installed and they'll last for 40 to 50 years. So the house can exchange hands many times, and everything works. But one of the major issues, kind of coming back to your question, is once those plugs get to a certain point where they've been used enough times and the older ones are made of kind of more of a hard shell plastic, sometimes you'll see them crack. Sometimes the plug doesn't really fit anymore and it's becoming loose. It just wears out over time and it becomes unreliable. So that would be one really common, easy kind of low-hanging fruit, if you will, to fire safety, is just keeping an eye on your plugs, kind of considering what decade they're from and potentially replacing portions of them or just all of them all at once every 30 to 40 years is kind of that mark where you would have a safe and reliable plug connection without worrying about that becoming loose and arcing and sparking on the inside and potentially melting and starting a fire. So that would be one. And then another one is Zinsco panels. I know a lot of real estate professionals are aware and familiar with Zinsco panels. They had colorful breakers. It's an easy kind of giveaway if any homeowner's panel has blue and red and green switches on the inside of the breaker box. That was a company that went out of business in the late 80s or late 70s, early 80s. And their fire failure rate is higher than any other company in history. And many times insurance companies have those panels listed as an exclusion so that, they won't be covered.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
They won't have to pay out a claim if a fire was caused by a Zinsco. That's not every case, but that is part of a lot of policies. So always good to check for that. So those would be two things that definitely would be, high on the list of any firefighter you talk to, high on the list of any electrical contractor as things that would be something you could look out for overall fire safety.
Yeah, wow. I didn't realize that insurance policies would look at a brand and factor that in. So getting into like further into what you do with like the context of real estate, home sales and inspections, how would
Mhm.
you say electrical safety factors into the process? Like are there inspections that could derail a sale or put buyers at risk that you've seen?
Yeah, definitely. That's actually really common. For the most part, all that stuff flies under the radar, which is a big shame in my opinion. I'm trying to kind of get there at that point and just educate buyers and sellers because it can have a big effect on the whole process. You have a situation where you may have fire safety concerns in the house and you're putting the house on the market and maybe you hire a handyman to kind of clean up the house and do some painting and get it ready for sale. I've had many times where buyers agents will contact me and say, hey, it seems a little fishy here, like there might be something deeper going on. Before we actually want to close escrow, we want to actually see what's going on, and we'll get there and lo and behold, a house inspector will have gone through and basically just kind of notated a couple things, GFI's work, there's, a couple of a very light inspection, and we'll get in there and we'll find all kinds of things, maybe chewed wiring in the attic from squirrels over time, even things like we have a contractor network. So we'll go past like leaking pipes and stuff. And so during our inspections, we'll actually do like a full deep dive on the house and really reveal what's going on. And that can have a huge effect on the overall sale price, the offer price, the negotiation. And so that inspection and that report of like what everything would cost is a valuable tool for the buyer to protect themselves from running into a whole bunch of headaches and costs after they close escrow.
Yeah. Speaking of chewed wires, I'm sure you've seen a thing or two. Do you have any noteworthy crazy stories or maybe not crazy, but something that was critical that you saw something that no one else would have?
Yeah. So we actually see that kind of on a regular basis, being that we work with real estate agents and we're kind of like, hey, let's look a little deeper after a basic home inspection. And so we'll see all that kind of stuff. Fairly commonly we have like handyman work or maybe just, lackadaisical electricians who don't take pride in their work. Junction boxes in the attic is one of the things that happens all the time over the years, especially in a historic home. You have new lighting added, or the kitchen gets new circuits, or you have a home office, and these things are like add-ons. It's very, very common for people to move in and kind of put portions of electrical system into the house. And so when that happens, you have to cut into the electrical system and expand off of the electrical system and do like adaptations to what's existing. And those junction boxes where you splice in, if you don't put a cover plate and conceal those junction boxes and install them correctly, it can become a huge fire hazard, because if something goes wrong in that junction box, and it's fairly common for connections over time with the wire nuts to become loose, sparks will fly out the back of the wire nut. And so if you don't have covers on your junction boxes, then you end up with sparks in the attic. And that can be, dry old wood framing members. That can be that batten insulation that has paper on the top. So you've got, hot sparks flying right onto paper next to all the wood framing. So it's a terrible, terrible equation for safety. And so that's something that we see all the time.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
That's kind of, I always shake my head because it's just so simple to put those cover plates on. But, that's something that a homeowner can easily poke their head up and just kind of shine a flashlight around and see if there's, a box with all kinds of wires hanging out of it that's just, posing a huge electrical threat right underneath it. Another one was, we were in an old historic neighborhood and we were rewiring the knob and tube house, and they had pulled down all the lath and plaster to do the rewire. And there was a long strip of knob and tube that had just heated up and was charring the side of the board on, in between the two floors. So it was like the ceiling in the first floor and the floor in the second floor had like a huge char mark on the inside. And I think what helped that is that it was really concealed and there wasn't a whole lot of oxygen for an actual flame to start. But that one was definitely something that stuck out to me as like, whoa, that was really close. And glad we're rewiring and getting rid of all that.
Yeah, totally. Scott, I want to talk to you a little bit about networking here, because
Sure.
a lot of listeners on the show, they're looking to level up. They're just getting started in the real estate world. What is your advice for people who are building their business? What kind of connections should they make? What kind of groups should they join? What's made the difference for you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love the real estate world. I love the real estate community. I was back when I was working on my own and not building a team, I had a lot more free time and I did a lot of the real estate meetups. Like there's so many like easy, $20 here, $50 there. You join a community that has a great speaker and everybody gets together and you get that flow of like sharing notes and ideas and struggles, and there's just so much growth that happens from that. And so that's something, if I was talking to somebody who was like, where do I start, where do I begin, or like how do I level up, definitely just plugging in on a regular basis to communities that you have at your fingertips, whether it be something local and you go in person, or you do webinars and you talk to people online. That is such a huge, powerful piece to just growth in general, and especially for the real estate world. It just seems like real estate investors just love to collaborate and share their investing ideas and level up and work on self-growth and coaching programs and, the next big idea. So I did some wholesaling for a while. And was thinking about getting into fixing and flipping. And so made a lot of connections that way and just kind of spiraled up in the community, made a lot of connections, did a lot of electrical business as well through all that as kind of a side benefit just from making those connections. But yeah, I'd say, just search online for anything local, show up in person, shake hands, especially in a place like Sacramento, there's thousands of groups that I could just go out and join and have really valuable conversations with people.
Yeah, totally. Scott, what do you see next on the horizon for your electrical company? What vision or goal do you have in mind?
Yeah. So right now we're just getting started. I worked on my own for about 7 years and had a great time doing it, but wanted to just kind of step into that next chapter. And so through reading a lot of books and just kind of listening to podcasts and talking to business coaches and everything, just developed a plan on what would really give my work purpose. And that kind of ties back into the whole family of firefighting and the stopping of the fires and having an effect on that. And I also really want to just kind of create something that's different in the contracting space. And so I've come up with like a vision for the next 3 years where we all as electricians, have the opportunity to work for a company and get our hours and potentially work for a company long term, or go out, set out and start your own business. What I have as a vision for the future of our company is kind of an in between, where I have a journeyman right now and he's got an apprentice and a full-time work vehicle, and we have an assistant that helps with the admin, and I also have an office manager. And so we're a small team right now, and over the next 10 years, goal is to get to 10 journeymen. And the way that I want to build it out is to create like an internal system for the journeymen to really grow and scale their abilities and their experience. And it would almost be kind of like a franchise model where they have more responsibility. They have, within the culture of our company, we're going to have sales training, and we're going to have project management resources, and we're going to be documenting, creating systems for all these guys. And so it's kind of like a quasi independent contractor training ground. And we're at the beginning of it right now, but my journeyman currently is super excited to learn behind the scenes and to be project managing and doing sales role plays and learning about pulling permits and getting more of an overview and having more responsibility. He schedules his own calendar, meets with the customers. And so that's my vision for the business, is to kind of have something unique moving forward where we incorporate AI anytime we can to make it as efficient as possible and to take off the workload wherever we can, so the journeyman can really focus on the customer and the products, and having everything really dialed as far as the customer journey goes and the installation. And so that's our goal. Our 3-year goal is this mission of building a team of journeymen who really want to up level, and they want to be a part of something special. They want to be a part of a team of guys who are working on improving their careers and improving their skills, and stay with us, stay with the company as long as they'd like. I've got a goals and dreams document for Alex and the journeyman and our admin role and the office manager. I want everyone to kind of be working together to be like, how can we be high performing? How can we achieve goals together and have like this platform of Modern Edison with this mission to make, the United States safe from electrical fires, all together while, we're creating something better for each of us, and, giving the opportunity to bring journeymen on to not only just clock into a job, but to be a part of something bigger and to up level their own skills and be a part of a team that has like a high energy culture.
That is so exciting what you're building. Scott, before we go, if someone wants to connect with you, learn more about Modern Edison Electric, or maybe they have a property that their electrical system needs to get checked, what's the
Sure.
best way for them to reach you?
Yeah, easy one is modernedisonelectric.com. We've got a website there. You can also follow me on Instagram at Modern Edison Electric. And I can go out and give my cell for anybody who wants to text or call locally in Sacramento. So that's 916-642-9426. So any of those ways, you can DM me or text me or get on our website. And I'd love to help with any investing properties. Like I said, I've got a little bit of knowledge when it comes to investment properties. So I've got kind of a mind to what an investor is looking for, and we can kind of collaborate. And obviously anybody with a historic home locally, that's our passion. We want to get your home and family safe. So anybody who wants to reach out is definitely welcome.
Scott, thanks so much for sharing your passion and expertise. I know you're saving lives by helping people protect their homes.
Yeah, definitely. That's the plan and the goal, and we're in it for saving lives and protecting children and keeping Sacramento home safe and branching into the rest of the U.S. As we progress.
Love it, Scott. For everyone tuning in, if you found value from this episode, make sure that you're subscribed to the Real Estate Pro Show. We've got more conversations coming up with visionaries like Scott who are making a real impact in the real estate world. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.